Well, hello there, my Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your soulmate love reading for December-ish 2019. Timeless. Whenever you watch it is when you're supposed to watch it. That's how I see it. That's how I'm feeling it. That's how it tends to flow. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and very, very happy to be serving you today, my Geminis, my gems, my gems, my twins. If you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. I am making my way into my new career here as a YouTuber. I also do read professionally in person and online in terms of video chat, Facebook Messenger, Skype, all that stuff. My info is in the box below. Spiritual teacher, author, all that shit. It's all in the box below. Go look at my website. It's a lot of fun. I'm a lot of fun. And you'll also see a link below. Clarifying Drunk Tarot, something that I have promised to do for the first couple of months once I hit 1,000 plus subscribers so I can do super live chat. So go check that out. Cool, cool, cool. This is a general read, meaning that it's not going to resonate with everybody all the time, which is why I always do Sun, Moon, Rising signs with any zodiacal series that I do. But here we are also adding Venus, right? Because it is relationship based. Venus, the planet of love, goddess of love, Aphrodite, all of that, particularly for a soulmate reading. Now, my definition of soulmate might be a little bit different than most people because it is a reinterpretation. Never really liked the word or what became of the word over the decades until I came across a lovely video called Soul Contracts, Twin Flames and Soulmates Redefined by KAHN. I have that, I keep that link in my description box perpetually so that people will watch it. Really good. Even did my own video about it called Clarifying Twin Flames, Soulmates, and True Lovers. This is truly a soulmate read in that soulmates are a pre-incarnational contract that you make with other souls, obviously, before coming in this life and other lives. But the foundation of a soulmate contract is you help each other heal. That's the bottom line. You help each other heal. They are satisfying. They are symbiotic. They are, they're in all sorts of different forms too. So not all soulmate relationships are romantic sexual. However, in this reading they are. We are looking at the romantic, intimate, sexual, satisfying, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise soulmate contracts for, in this case, the Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign collective. Cool, cool. So whether you are in one, maybe it's you, maybe you haven't met yet, but it really is about, you know, looking at this particular soulmate contract, because so many of us have them as family members and friends and co-workers and, you know, people that help us heal, other practitioners, readers, etc. But a lot of us are like, okay, well, where's the romantic sexual one? Where's the happy, healthy, wealthy, wise one, right? That the spiritual path was supposed to prepare us for. Well, that's what this read is for, and all of them in this series. I don't know that I'm going back to the old kinds where, yeah, it could be your mother, it could be your brother, it could be your best friend. I think we're moving away from those because they're helpful, but it's not really what we want to know about. Cool, cool. So what else? We're going to be looking at divine masculine and divine feminine only as a way of differentiating between two different parties in a contract. This is a contract reading, essentially. So it is not about biological gender, Y chromosomes, or lack thereof. It is about energetic dynamic. I am certainly considered a divine feminine when I'm doing this work, right? I'm predominantly divine feminine. I'm a Pisces moon, Virgo sun, right? Very, very much the goddess energy in me, and I'm gay. Not that that's an absolute indicator. I know plenty of gay men who like have very little feminine energy. It's the oddest thing ever, but there you have it. Where then again, you put me in a relationship with the right guy. I am divine masculine, daddy top, top daddy, daddy top, top around the rock and roll clock. There, a little Prince extrapolation for you there. Cool, cool. What else? Oh yeah, everything, all the decks that I read are in the description box below. Give credit where credit is due. We're going to start with the Caroline Myss archetype deck, pull some cards from some other decks. Other than that, I think just remember to breathe. That is the most important thing. for me to remember to breathe. Otherwise, the energy gets so high, particularly, I'm sure, dealing with a Gemini collective, where I go so fast, right? Where it's breathe, slow it down. This isn't a race, right? And if you're doing the same, then you are staying in the same vibrational wavelength frequency that I am drawing this information from. All I do is translate from the non-physical into the physical. That's all I do. Clairvoyant empath. I see stuff and I feel stuff and it flies out my mouth. Cool. So if we're both in that sort of inhale, exhale flow, you are tuning yourself to the same frequency. I'm just the one bringing it into words. You're more in the present moment, and you can feel more what resonates in your body intuitionally and emotionally as we go through. Cool, cool. Take a deep breath. Let's do this. Oh, lovely. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, one card to represent the divine feminine in this Gemini collective. Sun, moon, rising, Venus sign. Soulmate relationship, satisfying, sexual, romantic, intimate, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise soulmate contract. For December-ish 2019, timeless, so whenever they see it, it applies, please. One for the divine feminine, face down, and one for the divine masculine, same contract. Gemini collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, satisfying, soulmate, intimate, romantic, sexual, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise. Soulmate contract. Divine masculine, divine feminine, who we got here? Well, we've got the eternal child and the networker. How interesting. Now, the eternal child, we'll start there. Ladies first, the divine feminine. Everybody has the child archetype because we were all children, part of the survival family, right? So how we learned how to survive as children very much colors the child archetypal dynamic, soul power within ourselves. The child archetype in general is the guardian of innocence and new beginnings. So think of the innocence of your heart. Absolutely essential in relationships, but particularly the romantic, intimate, sexual, because we're talking about the inner child and an actual child. So just let's get that out of the way real quick, because every time one of the sub-archetypes of the child comes up, I have to explain that, right? Because within us, it is the inner child that is the heart chakra. I mean, it's a great way to talk to your heart chakra, is to talk to it as the inner child. Chakras are databases. They hold information in the cell tissue and in the energetic patterns. So think of all the heartbreaks, all the disappointment, the unrequited love, right? So here we have the eternal child, one of the sub-archetypes. In this deck, there isn't just one child archetype. There are a couple of different ones. The eternal child is a very specific pattern, often associated with Peter Pan, right? The child that doesn't grow up, which in its shadow is certainly there, but in its light is quite magnificent. So let me read you that for the divine feminine eternal child. Breathe. Inability to grow up and be responsible happens. Extreme dependency on others for physical security, right? So in terms of being able to defend yourself, to stand up for yourself, to provide for yourself, to survive. It is a survival family archetype. Now, the truth is that in our childhoods, we have traumatic experiences where it can kind of freeze certain aspects of maturation. That's what the child archetype is often very hopeful in helping to heal, right? Inner child work, loving what rises, loving that child, being the perfect parent, perfect in process. Talk to that child. It's like, you teach me how to love you. Because then it's sort of like soul retrieval. Like through certain traumas, there are pieces of our soul frozen in time, frozen in that moment. Wounds that, if not dealt with, really do stop us from maturing, and can continually bioelectrically, biomagnetically, biochemically attract to us the same kind of relationships over and over and over. It's all part of the quantum. Check out the Quantum Queen on YouTube. She's amazing. She talks about quantum entanglement and the chemical aspect of it, which I find fucking fascinating, right? So if you were abandoned a lot as a child, that has certain hormones and chemicals in your system that you attract to you more of that until those emotions are embraced, healed, released, loved, however you want to see that, right? So that's how you, with any archetype, that's essentially the same process, embracing the shadow, loving what rises. It's been called so many different things, right? The shamanic descent, if you want to go there, the hero's journey, the vision quest, all of the Odin hanging upside down on the world tree, Yggdrasil for 9 days, right? It's all sort of that same idea. Now, to move it into the light, the eternal child in its light, like I said, is quite magnificent. Determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. And in a romantic context, oh my God, what a blessing. Now, dating a Peter Pan, male or female, not fun. Not great, right? Never want to grow up. Never want to do their fucking laundry, right? It's like we all have to be adults. We have to get that child to work with the adult that we've become, and get that adult to really learn its main job is to love that child, but to not let it run the show, right? When the child is angry, put down your cell phone, darling. I love you. You're allowed to feel what you're feeling, but let's keep our conduct as kind as we want people to be kind to us. Right? It's a good parent. So just keep in mind, if you're the divine feminine in this one, you may not know whether you're the divine masculine or the divine feminine yet. And remember, it's possible to see information for you in both, for it to go back and forth, because we are both divine masculine and divine feminine. So the ability to see things with fresh eyes, and to be able to take the risk, right? The innocence of the heart. Lovely, lovely start for the divine feminine. And for the divine masculine, here we've got the wisdom family. Oh, sorry, the creative family. The networker creates networks, creates bridges and lines of communication. In the shadow, I think we're familiar with this, but I'll say it anyway. Conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. So we're talking about fake news. Hate to say that in one of my readings, but hey, that's kind of what it is. So of course that's of global proportion, right? Going on just everywhere, not just miscommunication that happens, Mercury retrograde kind of stuff, but conveys information only for personal gain. Spreads fear and falsehood. So there's a deliberate thing. How do you know something's in the shadow? You don't want others to know you're doing it while you're doing it, or particularly after you've done it. That's how you know shadow behavior. Better not do it in the first place, right? Which is the light attribute, what we're shooting for here. Enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. Like, how lovely is that? And isn't that just Gemini in a nutshell, right? The communicator, right? Hermes, messenger of the god, sits in the throne of Gemini for me. So I wear 2 pentacle earrings in this ear. I call them the twins because Hermes literally has my ear. So you put together a divine feminine eternal child to be very, very sensitive, but in the light, very, very willing to keep it young and keep it fun, and to see things with new eyes. And with the light of this networker, to really communicate, like a communicative divine masculine energy that really wants to enhance social understanding, right? Could be a second wave or a social justicer. But also with that sense of sharing information, creating unity for empathy, right? So there is that emotional sense of, I feel sympathy for what this person is going through. I feel empathy for their situation, right? Lovely, we got those down. We are going to clarify both of these, but we're going to start using the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, 5 cards for that eternal child, and then we'll use the Mythic Tarot for the divine masculine. Cool, cool. Please breathe. Oh, lovely. Oh, my goddesses, please. 5 cards. 5 cards. Element spread. Fire, earth, air, water, spirit for this divine feminine eternal child archetype in this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, satisfying, sexual, intimate, romantic, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise soulmate contract for December 2019, but timeless. Please. What is this eternal child's element of fire? What does she want? All face down. What is the earth, her element of earth, that which she has, the fuel to feed the fire to get what she wants? Earth. Air, what is she thinking about this contract, this situation? Our divine feminine eternal child, what is her element of water? We did air, now water. What is she feeling? What is her element of water there? And please, her element of spirit, what is the voice or the point of view of the soul for this divine feminine in this soulmate contract? Let's have a look. The eternal child, what does she want? Ooh, she got the Phoenix, the death card. So she wants not just change, transformation. Change is change. Everything changes. Transformation. There's no going back. That's why there's so often the element of fire. Well, in this deck, certainly. You can't unburn a cookie. It's burnt, right? So a real transformation of self, either a going to or arising from the ashes is what she wants, maybe in her life, maybe in her relationships in general, and maybe possibly in this soulmate relationship. Don't know if they've met yet. We'll see what pops up. What has she got? The fuel, the wax and wick that feeds the candle flame. Interestingly enough, the Leo card. Now, when a zodiacal card comes up, right, one of the 12 signs of the zodiac, first of all, both decks that I use, Daughters of the Moon and Juliet Sharman Burke's Mythic Tarot, call the court cards as each individual sign. So this one actually says on it Leo, and in the Mythic Tarot, it is obviously a Leo card, the Queen of Wands. So this would be Mother of Flames, Queen of Wands, feminine, fixed, fire in that sense. So what she has is her own creativity and good fortune. Now, this could be a Leo, right? She could have Leo in her chart. This is something that she already possesses, has either within her or about her. So don't get too hung up on the zodiacal sign in terms of sun, moon, rising, whatever. But tune to that fifth house pleasure, feline, warm, like the sun, right? Solar, pleasurable, parties, relaxing, sensuality, sexuality, romance is very fifth house. So did I say fourth house? I meant fifth house. Very leonine. Has that about her. Maybe very sexy, right? The Queen of Wands is usually considered the sexier queen in the deck. So may have that about her, right? May just have that mystique. But also there is something I'm getting very creative, because it is the eternal child, that creativity. There's an artistry here as well. How it's manifested, of course, depends on the maturity of this particular divine feminine, right? What is she thinking? Well, she's thinking quite a bit. Three of Blades. What I love about this deck is it's not three swords and a heart. It is about focus. It's about focusing the mind to influence the emotions, right? Think about it, even in the Rider-Waite, right? You got the heart with the three swords, but they're all focusing on a central point. It's more like introspecting, going into the emotions, focusing on the heart, than necessarily heartbreak itself. I mean, I get why everybody says heartbreak, but if you look at the actual heart that Pamela Coleman Smith drew in the Rider-Waite deck, it's not broken. It's pierced. It's focused on. Almost like mind over emotions, which can be a very therapeutic card. And considering the threes are about initial completion, it can be that thing of, all right, we've got our shit together now, let's focus. Let's get to what? The heart of the matter, right? So that would make sense that would ignite within her a desire to transform, for a complete life change, or at least a complete life change in one petal on the flower of her life there, and has the creativity to pull this off, like has that ability to transform and the good fortune to do it. What's she feeling here? See, this is the tricky one. Here is the Four of Blades. Now we go from the Three of Blades in the element of air, thoughts, beliefs, thought patterns, into the Four, which in this deck very much looks like the traditional Two of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck. In this deck, it's deception more than indecision, because she's blindfolded. She has a sword on either shoulder, but underneath her, on the seat that she's sitting on, are two more crossed swords that she is not aware of. So it might be that this desire for transformation is because some sort of emotional deception going on, either has been deceived or is deceiving herself. Now, the thing is usually we're not aware of when we're deceiving ourselves, hence deception. We all do it. It's all written into the divine plan, because sometimes there's no other way we're going to meet our destiny than if we are tricked into shit. And that sucks, and I fucking hate when it happens. The signs, the signals, the synchronicities draw you in down a path. You get what you need, but you don't always get what you want. I get it. So this deception card can be very, very painful to process, hence her wanting, in a sense, to die. Now, I'm not necessarily talking suicide here, but let's face it, 'tis the time of year, right? The holidays, where it's comfort and joy and love and peace, and people aren't feeling that. It's such a clash, right? So to want to transform, keep in mind, at least when I'm doing this reading right now, we are in the last few days of Samhain. Yule happens, what, on the 20th or the 21st? I think it's the 21st. Yeah, it's Friday. So we are in the last bits of being in the underworld to be born again with the S-U-N-S-O-N at Yule, winter solstice, right? So it could be rising from these ashes after a period of self-deception or deceiving herself about how she feels about certain things, because it's in the element of water. There's a lot there to unpack. And in a private read, I would totally go in on this with other decks to clarify, particularly that new KAHN deck that I got, that Healing Manga. I did a unpacking of that, unpacking, whatever. Oh, thank God. Voice of the soul is the learner. Good old Eight of Pentacles, right? The learner. That from the soul, she's like, this is all part of a learning process, which does make sense with an eternal child. It's like, child, this is okay. This is a lesson you're going through. You're not supposed to know. Right? You're not supposed to know. You're learning. Like, what is the point of learning a lesson if you already know? When does that happen? Sometimes, yes, you might get a pop quiz. It's like, you know this information. You know what to do. Let's just test it again. But that's always from the level of the soul saying, let's really make sure we get this before what it is that we've always wanted comes in, and we don't scare the crap out of it. Or it doesn't scare the crap out of us, or both. Interesting. I love that card, the Eight of Pentacles, because it really does say, sort of like, you know, they say the Sun card like lightens everything else in the spread. In this one, it says like, well, at least you know that there's a lesson in play, right? And that if you were supposed to know what to do, you would have done it. If it could go another way, it would go another way, right? But that something is being strengthened here. And oftentimes we do need to be deceived into it by our own souls. I know it seems highly unfair, and it feels highly unfair, and may the one in me that judges it as highly unfair be next in line to be loved and embraced, because that is a valid voice. But in the divine plan, we don't know. It is the ineffable divine plan. Go watch Good Omens, best description of the divine plan throughout that show ever. The book was always going to be better, but I loved what they did with the series. David Tennant is just so perfect for me, but what are we going to do? He's probably straight and married to a woman. I don't even check anymore. I let Google lie. L-I-E-L-A-Y, whatever. Let's check out the divine masculine here. Let's keep it sunny, keep it funny, keep it gay. Breathe, my Geminis. Get that air power working as I turn to my gods with the mythic tarot, Juliet Sharman Burke. Oh, please, my gods, my gods, my gods. 5 cards, fire, earth, air, water, spirit, for this divine masculine networker archetype in this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Satisfying, sexual, intimate, romantic, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise. Soulmate contract. December-ish 2019, but timeless, general in that sense. Please, element of air, what is this divine masculine networker thinking? Fire. Start over. I started with air, so sorry. There's a lot of energy going on here. Stay grounded, and of course I am dealing with Geminis. See, the empathic part of it's fucking tricky. Hundreds of thousands of you all in the room, so to speak. Definitely having a cup of coffee after this. Gotta speed it up more. Okay, please. For this divine masculine networker archetype, element of fire, what does he want? Here we go. Element of earth, what is the fuel that feeds the fire to get him what he wants? Element of air, what is he thinking about all of this? Water, what is he feeling about all of this soulmate stuff going on here? And element of spirit, what is the point of view and the voice of the soul for this Gemini reading? Element of fire, what does he want? Temperance. Okay, he wants that disciplined balance. He wants that patience. He wants to slow it down. Not just slow and steady wins the race like the Capricorn 10th house highest potential energy, but that thing of can we just be balanced about this? Can I get some balance in my life? Can I experience all of this new stuff in a bit more stable way? Now, there's always an element of discipline with temperance. And for me, it's very much a mental, emotional, spiritual type of discipline that may or may not play itself out in terms of physical form, though, of course, that is necessary. Like quitting smoking, right? I quit smoking. I had the sinus infection that ate fucking Long Island last month. Quit smoking, have not come back, haven't even had a cigarette. Why? Because I'm not really an addictive personality in that way in terms of the physical. Get me stuck in a mental loop as a Virgo. You're with me, right? Gemini, you know, we're both ruled by Mercury. So in terms of this communicator, then this networker, it's like, well, we have to find the balance of this. We need to bring it through discipline, right? Through focus, through here are the words that are coming really, really lovely, to integrate my highest virtue and truth into my conduct, what I say, what I do, how I treat others, moment to moment to moment to moment, right? That's what he wants in this, and particularly, how is he going to communicate himself? Well, what does he have? Let's see, the fuel that feeds that fire, the hermit. That right now he's keeping to himself, perhaps keeping quiet. I mean, you don't really think of a chatty hermit. When I go into hermit mode, which, you know, I am a Virgo, we are the hermit fucking card, I will spend weeks barely talking to anybody, but that's why I love being a YouTuber and doing this. Gets my creativity out there, and, you know, it's just me and the cats here at the house. Although my past life son is coming over after this. We're going to hang out and have dinner. So I'm not a total hermit, the hermit of Holbrook, Long Island. So definitely that sense feeling from this card that he does have that stability in him. It's like, well, okay, I need to take care of me. I always keep in mind the god depicted in this deck is the god Kronos, essentially the father of Zeus, right? The father of the Olympians, time, the god of time, Kronos, earth god, hence carrying the scythe or the sickle. Sickle is smaller, scythe is larger. There's sort of the Grim Reaper, but not the card of death, right? The Hermit, different vibe. So how's that going for him? Which does feel a bit stabilizing. Does feel like, okay, I'm keeping to myself right now. And plus with two major arcana cards first, two down here. We're talking about something more major going on here, particularly with wanting so much that temperance to slow it down with already being in the hermit place. That makes sense. What's he thinking? Well, Two of Pentacles, not indecision necessarily, but about what? Coming into balance. So this could be about making sure that he's balancing his time and his energy, right? His input and his output, his giving and his receiving. It is that time of year. You know, the scheduling, the juggling, keeping plates spinning, right? Even though there aren't a lot of plates in this picture, I do like the image of keeping plates spinning. Now, if you're not familiar what that means, it used to be sort of like a circus vaudeville act, right? So Google it, right? Put it into YouTube, spinning plates. It sounds like a band name, too. You never know what you're going to get on the tube of you. Oh, just so symbolic, the Alexandrian libraries of the modern day. What is this divine masculine networker feeling? A third major arcana card, the Star. I get the Hermit. Really, really wants that divine connection. Really, really wants that inspired, high vibrational, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise. That's what we wish for. That's the card of the Star, but it's also... that wish may very well be written in our contracts, written in our souls, written in this contract, that it be truly satisfying, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, romantic, intimate, sexual. I'm not saying everybody on earth wants that, but I know a huge percentage of the population simply must. Lord knows I do. I've had enough relationships in this life, honey. I've had more men than some people have owned pairs of underwear in this life. I have walked this path of true love, not since birth, but of course your relationship with your parents influence all of that stuff, or lack thereof, right? So I get that star calling us forward, calling us forward, calling us forward, feeling that emotionally. May not be able to put words to it, might need to stay in the hermit place as a networker, but probably is doing lots of research, right? Like getting lots of information, gathering it, trying to keep all of it in balance. What is the point of view, the voice of the soul? Well, the Four of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups is certainly a card of emotional rest. I'll stick with that to start with. Maybe is taking a little bit of a time out, but in this deck, this is Psyche, bride of Eros, son of Aphrodite. It's a brilliant myth. This is after she's married. They are married in the Three of Cups. This is the Four of Cups because, you know, he's a god. She's never seen what he looks like face to face. So she gets lonely living in this castle in the sky, quite literally a castle in the sky. So Eros allows her two sisters to come and visit, and they start giving her the words of dissatisfaction, right? It's like, well, how do you know? How do you know it's Eros? That could be anybody. Okay, he's got wings. I guess he can fly your shit up here. But how do you know he's not a demon? How do you know he is who he says he is? Hence the 5, what comes next is the emotional upset. So often with the Four of Cups, right, you got a dude or somebody hanging out under a tree, kind of staring at the 3 cups that are meh, not seeing the 4th one being offered by the divine. In this, it is something similar, that something is being introduced, but still a feeling and emotion of dissatisfaction. So perhaps the soul has integrated, has accepted where it is to a certain extent, in a place of repose, self-reflection, not necessarily the 6 of Cups nostalgia, but that place of self-reflection, saying, you know what, I want more. I want more. I've you know, temperance, I'm learning how to balance. I want to balance that stuff, even with that 2 of Pentacles, that my past experiences, I don't communicate them in a way that prevents me from having healthier experiences, hence that card of temperance, with the star right above it, wanting so much, to perhaps slow this down, particularly in terms of communication. So that's pretty intense, both sides of them, but we have a strong, obviously, predominance of major arcana energy here with temperance, the hermit, and the star. However, in the divine feminine, what she wants is the death card, so they seem a little balanced that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask the voices of the higher selves of all involved through the Whispers of Love Oracle. 1 card each, both face down. 1 for the divine feminine, 1 for the divine masculine. Please breathe. Oh, it feels good. Oh, the higher selves of all involved, please. 1 card in clarity for this divine feminine eternal child. In this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, satisfying, sexual, intimate, romantic, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, soulmate contract for December-ish 2019 and or timeless. Please, what is the whisper of love for this divine feminine eternal child? And please, higher selves, while we're here, 1 for the divine masculine networker archetype. A whisper of love from the higher self. Okay. What she got. Physical touch is important. Physical touch is important, which is interesting considering her element of earth is that 5th house, Leonine. You know what I mean? Physical touch is important. There is something sensual here. For some of us, nothing is more important than a tender touch. This might include a pat on the back or giving a hug to someone who needs it. Perhaps even giving that hug to yourself, which might feel a little artificial at first, but does take some practice. Gets a little yogic sometimes too, but to really give yourself that, but does feel like that's what she's got. Like she's got that ability to give that tender touch, to bring that sensuality, that pleasure, might even somewhat to an extent be on her mind. And you know, there is a phoenix, not a phoenix, a sphinx in the background of this card. So there is a mystery being pondered here as well. But with this card of deception and the emotion, that is what gives me cause. What keeps bringing me back to keep going is because there's a lesson being learned here. So physical touch is important. Now, if there is trauma involved here, we are dealing with a child archetype. As we said, trauma can sort of freeze certain aspects of our maturation throughout our lives. That's what's Google's soul retrieval, right? The shamanic descent, all embracing the shadow, the inner child work. It's all essentially different roads to the same goal, right? That same sort of wholeness, integrity, healing your foundational stuff. So keep that in mind if you're the Divine Feminine Gemini here. You know, you could be either one here, but that physical touch is important. But if there is trauma involved, then really that death card of transformation really does make sense. Unless, you know, that is really addressed. That can, intimacy issues, boundary violations, all stuff that happens. Children. Because when we're children, we're not born with boundaries. We learn them from the people around us. Jesus, Marge, right? Tricky shit. What's going on for this Divine Masculine networker? Be supportive. Lovely. Make a genuine effort to show you care. So the networker can do that verbally, but I get if he's in a hermit place right now, he's going to choose his words. He's going to choose to be supportive in a way that is very tempered, right? If these two have met, kind of feeling like they at least know each other, then there is a real healing that can happen here. But I really feel like the Divine Feminine has to make that first move in some way. Maybe not that physical touch move, but has the ability to see things with fresh new eyes, right? Being able to stay young in body and mind and spirit and kind of bring some renewal to this situation. But with that death card, that deception card there, it feels dicey. So take your time. And that might be why this Divine Masculine really is the tempering force here that says, okay, well, let's slow this down. I want to be supportive, but honey, if you're going through something, like, be a friend first. Marianne Williamson, I know she's running for president. This is not a political statement. She wrote a book called A Return to Love. I believe it was her first book. It was at least the first book of hers that I read, and I had it in hardcover back in the early 90s. She said that love is like a rose, the stem, the friendship, the blossom, the romance. Remove the bud from the blossom from the stem, you have a thing of beauty that will quickly wither and die, as it does, but continue to nurture the stem. The bud will bloom and fall. Continue to nurture the stem. It will bud and blossom again and again and again and again and again, right? So there's something here about being about being decent people, about being respectful. But he really, really wants, with this star card, really, really wants that higher aspirational, higher vibrational, satisfying soulmate deal. Yeah, he can be supportive of her in that. Just take it easy, guys, right? One more card down. Journey of Love Oracle to sew it all together, right? A lovely card to sum it all up. Please breathe. We started with the collective pantheons, we end with the collective pantheons, and then we'll do the overview. Please, my collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, they just told me slow down, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, a Journey of Love Oracle card. For this Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, satisfying, sexual, intimate, romantic, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, in progress, in process, soulmate contract for December-ish 2019, though timeless, please. I hear you. One card for this soulmate contract. Nice way to pull the card. Enjoyed that very much. Gonna read it from the book, by the way. Too much to memorize. She is the Moon, card number 21. 2 and 1 is a 3, so an initial completion indicated. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. She is the Moon. And what a pretty card. too. Can you see her? She is the moon. She is the moon. We don't have the moon card up here, but that's okay. She is now. Card number 21. Please breathe. Oh, the first part, if you're new to me and these reads and this particular oracle, the first part tells you about the meaning of the card. The second part is the oracular meaning, trying to relate it to your situation. The third part is a poem. Cool. So let's do this. She is the moon. The light of the moon ebbs and flows. The wisdom of patience is not about waiting around for something to happen, rather than getting up and getting it done. The wisdom of patience is that of the gardener who consults the lunar calendar, the right timing promoting growth, planting when there is fertile soil, and allowing the soil to rest and replenish when it needs to. Temperance. You are being asked to check in with your timing. Is now the time for action or rest? It can change quickly, just like the phases of the moon. If you are unsure, that's okay too. Perhaps you are waiting for more light to reveal the way. As the moon grows full, all things come in time. And I kind of feel that. It's like, go slow, guys. Don't rush into that. Because if there is a death transformation going on here, and that is the phoenix, or I mean, anybody got to literally fucking die, but then an old self is dying for a new self to be reborn, particularly in the divine feminine, and he's in hermit phase too, so it can be similar, if not as intense, to slow this down, to take your time. Your message comes through this oracle. Your manifestation is unfolding in perfect timing. If you feel something isn't happening fast enough or is happening quickly, and you are unsure if you are really ready, which is more what this feels like, be assured all is well. If something is not clear to you, and you would like it to be more so, the clarity you seek will come to you. Do not worry. Do not try to force the insight. Just be with what is happening now and trust. You are moving and growing, and all is well. Soon you will see that for yourself, just as the moon grows and revealing even in the midst of deepest night. So even as the moon grows full and revealing even in the midst of deepest night. So things will be shown. Slow and steady wins the race on this one, but think of it lunar, right? It's just a matter of time and tide. Now I've got Sade stuck on my time and tide. No one. Great. I'm going to have to listen to that on YouTube, of course. And what is the poem called? Waiting. Brilliant Bangles song, by the way. Waiting. These moments are precious, like jewels on the crown of life. They beckon my heart, forming memories that sparkle with joy. And like the longing of a sweet caress, they draw me near, melting into one, showing what is possible on the journey of life, waiting for the seasons change. Pretty lovely. Pretty lovely. Let's give you your overview. Magic clap. We've got the divine feminine here with the eternal child archetype. In the shadow, inability to grow up and be responsible, extreme dependency on others for physical security. And if that's as a result of trauma from the past, that's understandable, but it feels like this soulmate contract is about healing that in good part. The light attribute, determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes, which, as I said in the very beginning, is so important with the romantic path, let alone with life in general. It's so easy to get trapped and stuck in the old momentums, the old stories of the past, to really clear the eyes, often through crying, just to say. What she wants is the Phoenix card. She wants the Death card. She wants to transform, to rise from these ashes, either herself or her relationships romantically. It's usually a combination of both, right? What she has is that Mother of Flames, that Queen of Wands, Leo energy, the transformation of the kiln, the fire, the bakery, right? That steady fixed heat, that is there for warmth, that is there for creativity, that is there for good fortune, whether baking bread or adobe bricks or the interior world of creativity, bringing forth new manifestations. Something's definitely on her mind. Three of Blades. Now, if that is about heartbreak, as the Rider-Waite Tarot would usually do, the Three of Swords, then we are looking that she is trying to heal something mentally. Something is on her mind that may be heartbreaking or about the past, but certainly is a question of focus. So her mind might be a little tunnel vision-y on that one, but certainly just a 3, not so much the 8 or the 9 of Blades. But we do have here the 4 of Blades in the emotional field. Some sort of emotional deception. Either she's feeling deceived or she's dealing with emotions, the fallout, the emotional baggage from deception, particularly if she really, really believed that what was false was true. It happens to all of us. Part of the maturation process. I hate to bring it down to Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, but, you know, we've all been deceived on certain things. Yes, sure, I have no problem with the spirit of holiday giving being manifested as a jolly old Saint Nick, and I have no problem with the Easter Bunny being a symbol of fertility at the rise of spring, but it's pagan first, just saying, right? So what does she have in all of that deception above her? In the soul, the voice of the soul, the point of view of the soul is the learner, necessary, scripted, written, and she's going to need her innocence to see things with fresh new eyes to really learn this lesson that she hasn't done anything wrong. It's just a learning curve for absolutely everyone on planet Earth and absolutely everyone in the quantum field, right? And what is the overall message from the higher self? Physical touch is important. Nowhere is it indicated that that is sexual, but sensual certainly. That support, that hand on the shoulder, that shoulder to cry on, that ear to listen to, that physical contact, the holding of the hand, that it's okay, sweetheart, I love you, the hug, the support, the backing somebody up. So important, and hopefully she can be doing that for herself as well for others, and of course a healthy, balanced, integrous, what's the word I'm looking for? Honorable way. For the divine networker in the shadow, we've got conveys information only for personal gain, which is not great, spreads fear and falsehood, which is certainly worse, working towards the light attribute of enhancing unity through the sharing of information, right? Enhancing unity, bringing people together with information, engenders social awareness and empathy, and that definitely has a ring to it of a second waver, a social justicer, with definitely this eternal child might very well be a first wave energy sensitive. It tends to play out divine feminine, divine masculine in that way, particularly in certain soulmate contracts. What does he want? He wants the temperance. He wants the discipline. He wants to be better. He wants to train, in a sense, right? To really get the precision, the balance, the discipline in place so that there is rebirth within his own life and experience. Particularly, this is Iris, I-R-I-S, the goddess of the rainbow in the Greek pantheon, bringing forth the rainbow that comes after heavy rains, and in the card itself, some lilies. So some rebirth. So interesting, she's got death in the fire position. He's got, in a sense, symbolically rebirth. What he has to help him get that temperance is hermit time, right? Time by himself, by choice. A hermit is not someone in exile. They are someone who goes willingly, right? What is he thinking about this? To bring himself into balance, the Two of Pentacles. So of course that hermit time is allowing him to look at, to contemplate, to think about what is out of balance in his life. Where is he giving more than receiving? Where is he receiving more than he's giving? Where is he out of balance physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually? Although Two of Pentacles, it is going to talk more about physical effort and things in the physical world, particularly finances could be a part of that. But what is going on there emotionally, how he feels, is this destiny calling him forward, the star, hope, right? And this deck, it is Pandora's box, right? Everything flies out of the box except hope. And the grace of hope, for me, it's actually in my book, The Words of Grace. It's the second grace of, I think, 19, 20 different graces I go through in that book. It's the second one. The first one is the maiden grace, which is very much the eternal child, the maiden grace of humility. The second is the mother grace. Oh, great Mother Goddess, please grant me the grace of hope, that somehow I alone do nothing, but with the gods all things are possible, and that this is all part of the divine quantum plan for my well-being, for the manifestation of me becoming the best of who I am and who I came in to be in this life for the well-being of all, in service to the divine plan, right? That's a big hope, but one that is such an umbrella, can really carry us through quite a lot, and I do highly recommend. Yes, I wrote the book, but it saved my fucking life, that book. What's in that book saved my life, is what I should be saying. And what's her overview here? The card of Spirit from her soul is the Four of Cups. Sorry, saying her because of Pandora. The Divine Masculine here is because there is a sense of dissatisfaction, that there's more information coming in that is really changing how she's feeling about things. And again, that's because I'm looking at females in the card, although, you know, obviously this could be a female divine masculine energy here. But overall, with the card from the higher self being be supportive, make a genuine effort to show you care. It feels like that if and when this divine masculine is ready to come out of hermitage, can come from this place of balance, discipline, and hope to communicate and be supportive, at least through information, where it feels like the divine feminine here, with that physical touch is important, is able to give that more sensually, physically, in terms of physical touch. Keeping in mind the one that ties it all together, this Journey of Love Oracle card, she is the moon. There is an element of timing here, divine timing. It is seasonal, that everything is exactly as it's supposed to be, and if either one of them are confused about the timing, one could totally be it's going too fast, the other one could totally be it's going too slow, right? Like, I would think it's going too fast would be the divine masculine, because he's got the temperance and hermit. It's going too slow. Let's burn this fucker down, right? The Phoenix card with just a lot going on, and perhaps there's some emotional pain that's being repressed out. It just wants to get through the pain, and let's get to the good part, right? As a child would. I don't want to eat the fucking broccoli. Bring on dessert, right? But a really, really beautiful card there. She is the moon. Ride this one out. Really keep asking yourself whether you're the divine masculine or the divine feminine. What would love do and what is healthy? That's what will give you the patience. And sometimes there's nothing to do but wait. And there we have it, my Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Lovely soulmate contract. Can really feel this developing. If you have not met each other yet, hang in there. It's just a message of timing, because you all sort of have your work to do within yourself. As you are healing yourselves, you will have more to bring to the table, so to speak, in a contract where the bottom line, helping each other heal, but in the context and in the form of a happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, loving, romantic, sexual partnership contract, right? That's what you're shooting for. Takes a lot of lifetimes to set up to have that, because happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, romantic relationships, how many of them have there been on the planet, if any, right? Part of our evolution, probably a fifth dimensional manifestation that we have to work through our own energy fields first to incarnate it. Couldn't the planet use that more than anything right now? I think so. Cool, cool. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, reach out if you need a reading. I do video chat reads all the time, Facebook Messenger and Skype and all that over the telephone. Oh, I'm going to be in Saratoga Springs over the holidays, the 23rd, I think, to the 28th, 29th. Not sure exactly when I'm coming back, but I will be reading at the Magic Moon. We're working out the times for all of that. So check out Magic Moon in Saratoga Springs. I'm like 5 minutes away from the place. And really looking forward to seeing my family, getting off Long Island for a bit. But I'm taking all my tech with me. I will be recording because I love doing this too. Cool, cool. Thank you so much, my Geminis. I love you so much. May the Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their soulmate contracts for timeless, but, you know, December 2019, that they may heal, grow, help each other heal, help each other grow, help each other evolve, and fulfill their roles in the divine plan for the well-being of all. And so it is. Thank you so very much for watching. But for now, my darlings, like and subscribe. Check out my links. Hail, farewell, happy holidays, and blessed, blessed, blessed be.